Since Michael's family is diehard UCLA fans and my family is diehard USC fans, we decided to randomly pick 30 names out of a hat and ask those students if they preferred UCLA or USC.
UCLA.
Brandon Miller. That is UCLA right there.
USC.
UCLA.
UCLA.
UCLA. UCLA. UCLA.
USC.
I like UCLA.
USC.
I'm gonna go with UCLA, go Bruins.
I'm going to USC, so duh.
UCLA. UCLA works.
I prefer UCLA.
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 USC. UCLA. UCLA.
UCLA.
USC.
UCLA.
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 It was found that 24 students preferred UCLA over USC. We're going to use a 0.01 significance level to test the claim that more than 70% of students preferred UCLA over USC.
So we got 24 UCLA votes, 6 USC votes, and the total of 30 people. So N is the total number of people. The significance level that we're going to use is 0.01, and P, which you'll see later on, stands for UCLA. Alright, so first we're going to find or write down the null and the hypothesis. The null is always equal to, so we're going to say UCLA is going to be a total of 70%, so actually we're going to say it's 0.70, and our claim was that there's going to be more than 70% UCLA votes out of the people. Alright, so our second step is to identify, when we graph it later on, how we're going to graph it. So since this arrow is pointing to the right, it's going to be a right tail. And the significance level that we're going to use is 0.01, which is also up here. Alright, so we're going to find P hat, which is the total number of UCLA votes, which is 24, so the greatest number, over the total. Which, when you use your calculator and divide that, you're going to end up with 0.8. Okay, and now, so the equation that we're going to use, we have to find the test statistic, and so we're going to do the test statistic, which is Z. It is going to be P hat minus P over P times Q over N. Okay, so we found P hat. And now we need to find P and Q. So P is already in where the null is, or which is P is the null, so it's going to be 0.7. And in order to find the Q is 1 minus P. So we'll write that right here. Q equals 1 minus P. And 1 minus P is just 0.3. So Q equals 0.3, P equals 0.7, and P hat is 0.8 right here actually, and N is just 30, which is, or the total is 30. We'll write that down here. Alright, so now that we know everything, we're just going to plug it in. So that's 0.8 minus 0.7, 0.7 times 0.3 over 30. And in the end, after you do it all out in your calculator, you're going to get 1.19. And that is your test statistic. So now we're going to graph it. So we know that it's a right-tailed test, so we're going to go on the right side and draw a line down, and the significance level is 0.01. And now we're going to need to find the critical value. So we're going to need to use the chart, but first we need to find, or on the chart, it's going to ask the significance level of the direction going left. So this whole thing is 100%, so we're going to need to go, so since 1 minus 0.01, it's going to be 0.99. So 0.99 is all this area right here. So when you go onto the chart, which we're about to do, you're going to need to look for 0.99 as a significance level to get this critical value. So since we know the opposite side is, or the significance level is 0.99. So in order to find the critical value, you're going to need to look at the positive z-score chart, and in here you're going to need to look for 0.99. So the closest thing to 0.99 is right here. It's kind of hard to see, and you're going to go across, which is 2.3, and then 0.03, which is up here. So your critical value is going to be 2.33. So the critical value, which we just found, is 2.33. Okay? And now let's see where our test statistic ranks on this graph, or goes on this graph. So 0 would be right about in the middle, and our test statistic is 1.19. So that's right about somewhere in here. And so since it's not in the shaded region, we fail to reject the null. So since it's failed to reject the null, we aren't going to reject this one right here. So that means we do not support our original claim that greater than 70% of the students would choose UCLA. So we don't support original claim.
In the end, the test statistic did not fall in the critical region, so we failed to reject the null, and we do not support our claim.